Today is the first day of the rest of your year. July 1st, starting Q3, starting the back half of the year, talking about Jim Farley's ode to EVs, a sub $25,000 Jeep, and a Bugatti Robotaxi.
Everywhere I go, the people really want to know.
You had to do it like that.
How you say Robotaxi?
They should have called it something different, just for the heck of it.
I mean, I think they kind of wanted to just like turn it back and push it in Elon's face just a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit. We'll talk. We mentioned it on the show on Friday. We have a little more detail on it today, so we'll talk about it. But second half of 2024, we are there, man.
We're in it. Let's go. You know, the older you get, the years just fly by. The half years act like they don't even happen. You know,
I know. I mean, I feel like we were just at NADA. I really feel
that's
like
exactly right. And now we're already
almost
talking
at
about
NADA.
NADA. We're gonna have some cool stuff to share this week. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Woo. And it's the holiday week. I mean, like everybody's kind of ramping up. This is a great. I mean, whoever put the holiday in the 4th of July just understood it's a great way to start retail with the second half of the year having a big holiday week. Somebody was thinking about this.
Thank you so much for making that the day.
Whoever you were, Independence Day, man, we salute you. Right?
What a mess.
What else we got? We got a new Auto Collabs episode launching or launched. I don't know. Is it launched already? Or?
Launched.
Yeah, it's out.
In the wind.
Running a business like coaching an 8-year-old baseball team.
Yes.
With John Fitzpatrick of Force Marketing. These conversations are so great.
And that metaphor goes a long way.
You could really have some fun with that on a TikTok account. But yeah, we had a great conversation with John and just really unearthed this passion for coaching youth baseball. And you could see his face light up. And then like we started drawing the parallels. And it's just a great, fun episode to listen to and see a little different side of John Fitzpatrick you may never have seen before. Just kind of why we do the Auto Collabs the way we do them.
Yep.
All right, we're going to get right into it.
Let's get into it. Come on. So
Jim Farley, Ford CEO, you know, he posted this, I don't even know what to call it. An ode to EVs, an argument for EVs. It felt pretty heartfelt. I wonder if he wrote the whole thing, or if it just, I don't know him very well. But either way, yeah. We're gonna keep going. He posted it on his LinkedIn account, discussing the potential challenges of EVs while emphasizing, like, telling the story of his personal experience and their commitment. He talks about his love for EVs and how he grew up and his grandfather, you know, worked for Ford and like he grew up building these cars. He still wrenches on his old like 1973 Bronco on the weekends. He's like, I got petrol in my veins. Right. And then he talks about his experience getting the F-150 Lightning. He talks about the convenience of EVs, the absence of like having to go to a gas station. It's quiet, fun to drive. And he says, look, I know there's a lot of skepticism around EVs, particularly concerning charging infrastructure, but talks about the improvements, talks about the cost savings and how it's like actually a lot closer than most people think. And at the end of the letter, he's kind of like, but don't take my word for it. Go out and drive one, right? How American is that you can go out, try it, decide whether or not you want it, and then make your decision. Here's a quote from it. He said, quote, the tipping point we're working toward will come not from regulators who push us from politicians who try to hold us back. It will come from consumers, not when an arbitrary market share is reached, but when electric vehicles are simply better for more customers to drive, cheaper to own, and easier to integrate into daily life.
There's not a statement in that ththing that I could agree with.
Like more. The sounds of that.
You know, it seems like actually a departure from 2023. The way that the automakers were talking, some of that was politically driven. But this is reality. Like until the technology is ready for the mass consumer, it's like, you know, who thought, you know, when the OLED TV came out, I don't know, in 2013 or something like that, and it was like $8,000, that everybody was like, no, this isn't practical. Yeah. But now it's like, you know, you can get an OLED TV for $1,100 and they'll 70-incher, and you know, more people are getting into that technology.
70-incher. He did in the article or whatever you want to call it. He talked about the things that were only once for other people, and he brought out like cell phones. He talked about computers were only for NASA, and he just like, I think he made a cool case. It's a great little LinkedIn article, and they probably posted it other places. We link it up in the show notes. If you didn't know, if you're watching this live stream, this is also an audio episode. It has show notes. You can link through every article that we cite or talk about in the show. Speaking of talking about things in the show, it's such a cheap segue. That's like
in there.
that's I wanted one in
Speaking of
there.
making it cheaper to own.
Oh man, that was really good.
It's okay.
I know. I felt
We
like
made it.
when you like try to like mail in a segue, it's like when a musician comes on stage and is like, "How we doing? Insert city here," right? Whenever you need a little bump in the action. This is another EV related story about being affordable. Jeep has announced plans to launch their affordable Renegade EV in the U.S. for under $25,000, but industry experts are very skeptical about the feasibility of actually hitting the price point. Jeep aims to launch a new model every year for the next 3 years with the goal of increasing market coverage in North America from 45% to 85% by 2027.
Wow.
I like it.
Okay.
Someone put a goal out there that actually is going to be like
out there.
measurable. Experts doubt Jeep can achieve the $25,000 price point, talking about production outside North America, which would disqualify the vehicle from federal incentives. So obviously they're thinking in order to hit the price point, they need the incentives.
Yep.
Ralph Mahalek Jr., a Jeep dealer, supports the idea of a low-cost EV, but stresses the need for range. He's like, it's got to have 200 to 300 miles to be competitive. I think it's got to be like 300.
Maybe more.
Yeah. Other brands like Kia, Volvo, Chevy also targeting that segment, but their starting prices are around $30,000, so it's a little different. Here's a quote from Edmunds. Joseph Yoon says, if the Renegade comes in at, let's say, $30,000 starting for launch models, or maybe even $35,000, it could put some numbers up for Jeep. So
yeah, I would say that the next 5 OEMs that figure out a sub $35,000 EV in, especially if it's like a crossover or small SUV, they're going to win on market share alone, right? Just because more consumers can buy the vehicle like they're looking for, right? Not everybody wants a Model 3, a car that is not that's not what people buy in the US, right?
Nope.
They buy Rogues and RAV4s and those types of cars. So until you get that type of volume, or until you get that type of price point, you won't get that type of volume.
No, you won't. I mean, I think Kia's got a great shot at getting to the 25 first. Personally,
without
right, they got the 30 to 35 figured out already.
Yeah, but I don't know how many new cars are actually are going to be 25,000
like across the board
3 or 4 years. So like chasing that goal seems a little
yeah, $30,000 does seem reasonable.
Yeah, seems more reasonable. So
speaking of things that seem pretty dang reasonable, especially after you see it.
Yeah, unreasonable all at the same time. Rimac, known for its $1 million hypercars, has ventured into autonomous vehicles with the launch of its Robotaxi Verne, named after the novelist
Verne, not like Verne, like Ernest Goes to Camps, like cameraman.
Right. Jules Verne, the innovative 2-seater EV, aims to revolutionize urban transportation. So if you haven't, you got to go click on the link. You got to find the video, the YouTube video that the Top Gear did with the CEO of Bugatti. It is amazing. It walks through every single part of this vehicle. So the Verne is a 2-door, 2-seater EV with a design blending space capsule and a European hatchback. It features a ginormous, like widescreen curved 43-inch dashboard screen, 17 speakers, no steering wheel or pedals, and a tech-savvy interior. It has a ton of technology, advanced cameras, sensors, LiDARs, a LiDAR on the top,
screens on the outside. Oh yeah,
screens on the outside. It can be summoned by an app with customizable features like cabin temperature, lighting, music. It'll identify the user's name, even the ability to customize the scent of the car when it arrives to you.
I think I want customized scents in the car,
which
for sure, because that's the concern. Cleanliness is definitely one of the concerns in a driverless vehicle.
Yep, exactly.
Right, like you just. That could change the whole experience real quick.
This was a wild piece here. They said the question was posed, why a 2-seater? Why not a 4-seater? And it's because the data shows that 9 out of 10 rides are used by 1 or 2 people.
That makes sense too
when it comes to a taxi. So
they're like, if you have more than a couple people, then you just order a couple of these
Robotaxis,
those
things, and
tandem
just run
it
in a line, baby.
Daisy chain those babies. You got your whole little convoy going on in your robot. That'd be cool if you could actually communicate between the two of them. Tether some rides up.
Little intercom system.
Screens. There you go. We're flipping. That's version 2. I think you have to go watch it, because when you watch it, it makes a lot more sense when you see it. You're like, oh, big trunk, lots of leg space. Again, we said this last week. Some other company putting out a Robotaxi when Tesla has been talking about it so much, I think makes their claim to having a viable Robotaxi actually better, right? Yep. Because now it's like, oh yeah, this does seem something that would be really easily to adopt, easy to go in. Tesla probably has a lot more capability to execute the full business model from top to bottom. Like Tesla saying, we're not only going to build these, we're going to own them, and we're going to have Tesla Uber.
Right.
Yep. But you have to think like Uber is also going to shift back to, whenever it can, I think, these driverless vehicles.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. They had professional drivers when they started, and then it was crowdsourced drivers like it is now. But if Uber can own the vehicle and then get the whole fare and own, it's lights out.
Pay the drive, it's over. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be a combo, because we know no one's getting in one of these in Syracuse anytime between October and May.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
Yeah.
So
no, I mean, I think
autonomous driving rules still apply.
I would say in the next year, you're going to see a ton more of this, and you're going to see it especially in major metros, and they're going to be rolling out all over the place, and they're going to be some funky looking things, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch.
It will be. Well, look, we're starting out the week, the month, the quarter, the second half of the year strong. We got a holiday week coming up, so we're going to have 3 very high speed days in front of us. So batten down the hashes and get ready.